So I'd like first to begin with us going around and saying who's on the call. So I'll start. I'm Christine Joy.
John Trainer.
Mark Caruso.
Liz Dennehy.
Christy with the Plympton Halifax Express.
Bridget Martin.
All right, sounds like that's it. All right, so no Art today. Maybe he'll be joining a little bit later. So Liz, do you want to get into the COVID-19 updates and discussion?
Sure. So as I'm sure most people are aware, Governor Baker extended the stay-at-home advisory until May 18th. So we're following suit with that with our public buildings. As far as the townhouse goes, everything has pretty much been status quo. We continue to provide all the same services to the public, and we're doing that with a combination of working remotely, electronic and phone calls. We've even done a virtual tour for some inspection purposes, and some people continue to go to the building to get essential processes done that are unable to be done remotely. So far, so good with that. We've been keeping close track of it and a pretty good schedule. The library had their pest control person come to address the carpenter ants. It's not an ongoing problem, but it's ongoing maintenance that they do every year. They have the person come out to maintain the building. So that happened yesterday morning. Police and fire are doing well. Everything's going smoothly on that end. And as far as the specialized ambulance that handles all of the COVID-19 runs, we're doing well with supplies right now and personal protective equipment. One of the things that our emergency management group is looking at is when we do reopen, what we might need to do in the way of face coverings, requiring it potentially even of the public coming into the building, or if we need to make any temporary structural alterations to some of the offices, whether that be a removable piece of plexiglass at a counter, or potentially looking at cutting some of the doors to make them the bifold doors where the bottom could remain closed, but the top could be open so people could walk up and see you, but aren't necessarily entering into all the different offices. So we're trying to talk about some stuff like that right now and get an idea of the best path forward. Things are going smoothly at the transfer station, so that's good news. As far as the COVID-19 response goes, one of the questions that I've been getting a lot lately is what we're doing about our Memorial Day events. And a lot of towns have opted to postpone their Memorial Day events to Veterans Day. And that was something that I mentioned in passing on a phone call today with some of the townhouse employees. And we had Bridget as well as Kathy Ferguson on that call, and they both serve on the Memorial Day committee. And they were both very receptive to that. And I'm wondering if we are going to do that, we should probably get word out sooner rather than later, so that we don't have people asking us. I think it's good during this for us to be proactive and get the information out. So I'm not sure if that's something that you've thought about. If you are comfortable with that and you think that it makes sense to postpone it until Veterans Day, if you felt comfortable giving the go-ahead for that this evening as part of this update, we could get that information out to people. And it would also give the committee some time to plan and think about how that day might look if it was postponed.
I'm in total agreement that it needs to be postponed. I guess my only concern is whether we want to wait a week and actually put it on the agenda in case there was opposition. I can't imagine there would be, but I absolutely can't imagine us going ahead with Memorial Day celebrations.
I agree with
Yeah.
Mark.
Yeah, I agree too. I think unfortunately, it's just things won't be ready. So they'd rather do Veterans Day than like Flag Day, but Flag Day may not give us enough time either.
We
Yeah,
had
that's
actually mentioned Flag Day because I guess it was postponed to Flag Day once
Right.
passed due to weather. But I don't know that that would give enough time.
Probably not. Okay,
It's not
so
enough time for,
so why don't we put this on the agenda to discuss next week then?
Okay.
Great.
Also, I've been in touch with Linda Levy, and we've come to an agreement that we're going to extend the bid date for the 3 lots on Prospect Road until May 20th, 2020 at 12 p.m. noon with this board's blessing and comment if you would like to comment on that. But we want to do so with the caveat that should the stay-at-home advisory be extended further, we do want to hold the bid opening on the 20th regardless. And we're going to work on putting together an addendum that specifies some of the precautions that we'll be taking and that we would like any prospective bidders to take, just to make sure that it's a safe process for everybody. But as of this afternoon, it seemed like Linda and I were on the same page with that May 20th date, assuming that the board was okay with that.
You need a vote, Liz?
Sure, that's fine.
All right, then I'll make a motion that we extend the bid deadline date for the two, no, is it 2 or 3 lots?
Three.
3 lots on Prospect Road until May 20th, 2020 at 12 noon.
I'll second that.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
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 Everyone
Also,
cross your fingers on that, please.
Right.
You've done a lot of work, I know, Mark.
we also received word from Eversource that there's a problematic tree on the town green, and due to everything going on with COVID-19, they're asking if I could sign off on allowing them to remove it, or Christine, one of us, due to COVID-19. I guess Phil Hayes already looked at it and said, yes, it should come down, but where it's on property, rather than in the customary layout that they normally would just remove it anyway. They do need to get our permission for that.
I took a ride up there and the tree is practically coming down now. It's dangerous. If you're looking at Rick Burnett's house, it's on the right-hand side. So it's kind of on the green, but it's not part of the main green. And so the only thing I think we should do it, absolutely, but I wonder if we could do it with a provision that they grind the stump, since it is part of the green.
We could certainly mention that.
It does have to come down. It's dangerous.
I agree. I took a look at it and it'll come down on its own and make a mess. The only thing there is whenever we deal with these tree issues, there's always a few people in town that kind of would like to have some input. And I wonder also if this one couldn't be on the agenda for next week, just so if there's someone sensitive to these issues, they could voice their opinion. But I'm totally in favor of voting yes. If we could give it one more week, that would
Yep.
make sense.
Okay, sounds good to me.
Yeah,
Put
we
that one
should
on the
put
agenda too.
we should put a picture up on the website showing it, because it speaks to itself.
Well, and then people would know which tree you're talking about as well.
Yeah. And there is a blue dot that they put on it.
Right
Was it by the benches?
No, it's again, if
further-
you're looking at Rick Burnett's, it's
Yeah.
right up front on the street almost, but to the right. It's near a Mayflower Road.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. All righty. All right, so we'll put that on the agenda too.
We also got some correspondence in. It has to do with one of the solar projects and they need to do an electrical crossing at Ring Road. I reached out to Eversource to make sure that they don't need any sort of special permission from them. And they said no. They did run it up the chain there to make sure that it's nothing to do with them, and it's not. So do you want to put that on the agenda for next time too?
Why don't we? Because that's a road cut across all the way across the street, right?
Yes, and I just want to make sure, Rob had mentioned some paving potentially, and I just want to make sure that if that is one of the areas that he was considering having paving done, that the timing works out so that he doesn't pave a portion of it and then they cut into it immediately after. I don't know necessarily that that is where he's planning to do paving, but I think that we should gather input.
Perfect.
And that's all I have for COVID-19 and incoming correspondence.
Okay, thank you, Liz. All right, John, so you had, you're proposing a particular format for our minutes and you provided us with a copy. So you just basically took the minutes that Bree had provided and put them in the format that you'd like to see them in?
Exactly. I
Okay,
didn't change any of the discussion. She captured that perfectly.
okay,
All I'm trying to do is get rid of the
Bullets?
bolding, the underlining, the bullets.
okay,
So it's more conversational.
okay. All right. Did you get a chance to look at those, Mark?
I did. I'm actually a bullet guy, so I like all the bullets. I think John's proposing is clean. If we are doing that, my suggestion would be at least emboldening the key topic. For example, in the one he gave us, notice of intent of conversion or update on COVID-19, it's just much easier to sort of scan down the page and look at what we did overall, moreover, finding quickly a particular subject. Either approach is fine with me. If John feels strongly about that, I'm fine. I would just hope we would embolden or entitle each paragraph.
Okay, so like a topic for each.
Yes.
Okay, all right, that sounds good. Yeah, I'm fine with either format too. So yeah, John, if that's what you want, it does look nice and clean, and it certainly is flows nicely when you're reading it. So I'll make a motion that we'll adopt the minute format that has been proposed by John.
With Mark's
With
Mark's
Mark's
amendment.
suggestions of, topics, somehow bolding out the subject matter to make it easy for people to find things that we discussed.
I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. So now that we have the format, let's approve the minutes.
I had no
All right.
changes.
All right. I didn't have any changes either. Mark, did you have any changes?
I am good.
Okay. All right. So I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes in the new format as submitted.
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. All right. So minutes are done. All right. Do we have any other business?
There was one thing, Liz, the codification warrant article. Do we need to do something on that?
No, oh, the one for, I already sent it, but if you want to just, that way we have clean records, if you want to make a motion to simply forward the draft article to the planning board,
Okay.
that would be helpful, just so that when we go back at the end and send everything to the AG's office, we have a clear date that it happened on.
This was the warrant article that we're just changing the zoning
Mhm.
format per the codification groups
Okay.
bylaws of,
Yes.
Do you want to make the motion, John?
I would make a motion that we forward to the planning committee, the warrant, planning board, the proposed warrant article to change the zoning format to the recommendations of the codification bylaw review committee.
All right, I'll
Does
second the
that sound
motion.
right?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yes.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, any other business?
I'll just mention next Thursday night, I have a pretty important meeting at 6:30. If we get into heavy duty stuff, I will prioritize in favor of the town, but if I can get out by 6:30 next Thursday night, that would be
Well,
good.
let's make an effort to do that, yeah, we'll make an effort to be done by 6:30 then. Give you time to
Thank you.
And I'm
log
gonna
into your
give a-
next one.
Yeah.
And I've
I'm
got a
sorry, John?
rave. I've got a rave for the
Okay.
Russos for doing their Friday night cooking for 40 people that they're going to be giving out meals. I think that's great.
That is great. That's very generous of you and Kim. That's great for
This
the
is-
community.
This is the problem at Just Right Farm. Give any of us like 5 minutes to feel a little bored and a whole new project comes up. But people in need, time constraints or other constraints, we are glad to serve these meals Friday. We can pick them up from 4 to 6. Just give a call during the week so Kim and the kitchen staff can prepare, and we're thrilled to offer this opportunity to people.
You're good neighbors. All right, so do we have anything else? All right, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second,
All right, all in favor?
good night.
Aye. Good night, everyone. Thank you.